I genuinely cannot believe they announced Splatoon 3. I'm very surprised. I mean, I thought it would only be one per console, but I mean, here we are, Splatoon 3, what the heck? So pretty much what I'm going to do is analyze the trailer, break it down a little bit, see what kinds of things I noticed, and see, just what's going on in this Splatoon 3 trailer. Now, I would have had this out a lot earlier, but see, the thing is that I live in Texas, and in case you don't know, well, Texas pretty much has been having the worst winter storm it's had in a very long time, and we've also been having like the worst power outages we've probably ever had. And yeah, I was pretty much caught in the middle of that, so kind of sucks, but here we are, make do with what you can, So here I am. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into it. Actually, before we get started, make sure to subscribe, click like, comment, share all the good hypeness that I'm sure you're hyped for Splatoon 3. That's why you're watching this video, right? Yeah, new videos weekly. Sometimes more videos in 1 week than one. But for sure, one video per week is what I'm gonna aim for. Excuse me, I'm just gonna fix my setup real quick and we'll get right into the trailer. Boom, big reveal. I turned myself into a pickle. I'm Pickle Shark. Okay, let's just watch this. Okay. Right away, I thought this part was Mario Odyssey because it looked like the Sand Kingdom. Like it looked like the horizon, it looked like the right colors, and it looked like, the dryness of the land. But it wasn't. Why would they add that in Mario Odyssey 2? I don't know. And then right here, I was like trying to visualize. I was like, what could it be? Like, Mario has to run through these, right? Like, is this gonna be fun for Mario to run through? And I was like, not really. It doesn't seem like this would be fun for Mario to run through. I did not know at the time. Boom. Okay, right away, right here. Okay, we've got our Inkling right here. They are an Inkling because they have the Inkling hairstyle, not so much the Octoling. And we have the Chum right here, Small Fry, I believe. And in the back we have a mysterious weapon, which we later learn is a bow and arrow. Okay, so as many have pointed out already on Twitter, they completely got rid of genders. Now it's only, I guess, like body builds, or like if you actually look at it, they all have different eyebrows. So I guess like you can pick whatever eyebrow you want. But yeah, I mean, it's great that there's no gender. It's just like pick whichever one you vibe with the most. Okay, and the eyes. Okay. So obviously they have the one-tone eyes, but it looks like they're gonna have two-tone eyes, because if you look right here, you can see that there's like two, it's like split in half right here somehow, the eyes. So I think it highlights over one of the multi-tone ones. Oh, see, if you see right here, you can see the outline. It's actually the color of the outline of the iris. Now here there's three-tone eyes, so I'm kind of curious to see what those are gonna be like. And I have the hairstyles. Obviously you can pick from, they did this in Splatoon 2, I believe. You can pick from whatever hairstyle you want, even if it's, masculine or feminine, whichever one you want. Also, shout out to the Small Fry that was yawning. Look at him. He's so cute. Alright, last thing, leg wear. So, I believe the only new one appears to be this one. I'm pretty sure the rest of these were in Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. This one appears to be the only new one. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Okay, so next you can pick your little Chum's hairstyle, which is pretty awesome. So you can see that there's a pretty decent amount of hairstyles, and they're all unique. They weren't in Splatoon 2's Salmon Run. These are all like new hairstyles for the most part. I think this one's the generic one, but yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. Right now, what I can imagine is this whole little sequence is kind of like story mode related. So whenever you jump into the story, it'll load up however you made your Inkling / Octoling, and however you made your Chum. There's a bow and arrow that we saw. Bow and ink? It's not really a bow and arrow, it's a bow and ink. Okay, here we can see the Eiffel Tower is upside down. I don't know what happened to it. Okay, so here you can see Callie and Marie went to Paris, which is, has the Eiffel Tower. I don't know if this has any relation at all because I believe this tweet was like from 2016, maybe. Yeah, July 6, 2016. Callie and Marie have arrived in Paris. Hashtag Splatoon. So this was well before Splatoon 2 came out. I don't really think it's related at all, but it's pretty cool that it's kind of consistent. Okay, so speaking of this little area, so it looks like this area is story mode related. It looks like it's either going to be like the training grounds, like every Splatoon game starts you off like that, like it's like does like a little obstacle course that you do, and then you jump into the city, the city that you're gonna be in. So I think this is probably going to be that obstacle course, but I think it's interesting that it's gonna be the bow and arrow. It's gonna be your main weapon. Usually it's the splatter shot. And of course you got little Chum following you the whole time. Little Chum buddy. Alright, so here comes the train. So this train is, for those of you who played Octo Expansion for Splatoon 2, this appears to be the same train line running through the story mode of that game. It's directed by CQ, Sea Cucumber. He's a sea cucumber, and I don't think he's called CQ. Forgive me. And here we have a little, just classic like Splatoon artwork. Yeah, you can pretty much tell it's part of the Octo Expansion bus line. So you got a little buddy following you and this giant fish, just pretty much like a transition, I guess. Alright, so up to this point, I honestly thought that it was going to be like a Splatoon single player game, kind of like story driven, because that's what it seemed like. It's giving off like heavy single player vibes, like heavily focused on story, like obstacle course type things. Like, I was like, this can't be Splatoon 3. Like, it has to be something else. It wasn't until I saw this, which we now know is called Splatsville, I believe. Let me check my references. Here we have here's Nintendo's official tweet thread, and don't worry, we're gonna go through it. Alright, so it says, here we see Splatsville, a newly discovered city of chaos, and if you paid attention to what was going on in Splatoon, you'll know that the final Splatfest was Team Order versus Team Chaos. Team Chaos won, so we believe that this has influenced the story of Splatoon 3. Splatsville, dubbed the City of Chaos, has a dated feel yet seems densely populated. Yeah, we can tell. Researchers indicate that Splatsville development has accelerated rapidly since the final Splatfest a year and a half ago, even though it's located far from Inkopolis. Alright, there we go. So we know this is Splatsville. Alright, I can't like say for sure what kind of stores there appear to be. Obviously there has to be your shoe store, your clothing store, your weapon store, but none of these logos actually look familiar to me. I could just be mistaken. That kind of looks like a salmonid. This looks like some sort of shark, so we can't really definitively say what stores there are here. Here's some sort of giant eel. I don't know. Possibly story related, kind of like the great Zapfish from Splatoon 1. We have the return of jellies. I love jellies that they... And, just general main hub Splatoon goodness. It looks very well made, I will say that. It's kind of interesting how much the Splatoon budget has grown. Splatoon 3. Alright, so here we see the first thing, which is, I believe, like, how you start the game is going to be very different from the other Splatoons. So, Nintendo mentions this in one of their tweets. Yeah, here we can see these spawning points. They look like they're only there from the first time you spawn. When the game starts, this is how you spawn, because you get to pick where you land, as we'll get to see soon enough. Also, the blaster looks very different. It has more like a cylindrical shape. I mean, I guess it was a cylinder because it's kind of like a can type thing, but it looks more like it has a closed, like it's trying to close type thing. But yeah, this appears to be the blaster, just an updated design. I'm pretty sure this is the gold dynamo roller. I don't think the design has changed that much. And here we have some sort of splat charger. It looks like it has like the same kind of shape. Oh, and it's worth mentioning that it's a scope as well. It has the same kind of shape as the E-liter from Splatoon 2, the E-liter 4K, I believe. It's blue, so I don't know if that really means anything. I think it's just an aesthetic design. And here we have the bow and arrow that we've already seen. Here's the next team. They also come out of these little like spawn thingies. Oh, they're espresso makers, it looks like. Yeah, espresso makers. Very interesting. Some of them are, they're turned upside down, but I think they're all espresso makers. Anyway, here we have the 96 gal. It looks pretty different. You can tell that it's the same weapon because it has a little like small like jug of water type thing. This nozzle, it has like a little like metal piece at the end. So yeah, these are all like updated. All the squids with different hairstyle, the octolings with different hairstyles. This looks like the, God, what's it called? Not the Nautilus. It's the big one that can shoot far. And here's the different design. Here's the updated design of the splatter shot. It looks I mean, it looks good. What can I say? It's yellow, and each Splatoon game they change the design of the splatter shot, which I think is pretty good. Here we have the sloshing machine, I believe it is. Can't really see well because it's kind of blurry, but yeah, looks like the sloshing machine. And here, okay, right here, so you can see that you're in these espresso makers type things, and you get to sort of pick where you're gonna land. I don't know how far the range is gonna be. I can't imagine it'd be that far because it'd be kind of dumb, like if you just spawn in the middle of the battlefield. But right here we can see that this looks like after you come out of these espresso makers, it looks like this is where you're gonna spawn afterward. I don't think you're gonna use the espresso makers to spawn again. It's gonna be from back here, which makes sense to me, to be honest. Alright, there we had the first look at the arrow. So it looks like it's gonna function similarly to a kind of like a charger, but not really. I imagine the charge time would be a lot less. Now, I'm gonna show you something interesting. There's this thing called Project Splatoon 3, and this person, I'm not sure if it was a team or if it was just one person, but they would make like fan concept art of what Splatoon 3 would be like, and they made like a whole project, and I think it's kind of interesting that one of the first weapons that they designed was a bow and arrow. And here we have, a bunch of other stuff, but anyway, I just think it's kind of interesting. I hope whoever designed this, I hope Nintendo didn't just copy their idea. I hope they were either hired or it was already in development. So yeah, you charge it up. It looks like it's gonna shoot 3 like blots of ink that I imagine they don't go that far, but they'll probably do a good amount of damage. I can't really say design wise when we've only gotten like 10 seconds of actual gameplay, but yeah. Okay, and here is the... It looks like there's a new universal movement option, which is every squid can swim in one direction and completely change their momentum another direction. In this case, it happened to be back, but I think this is a really good decision because Splatoon is all about fluidity, I would say. The fluidity of movement. But there have been two main points, like choking points, that kind of slow down the gameplay of Splatoon, and to be honest, I don't think it was that much of a problem, but it seems like they're kind of addressing this issue. So you kind of like jump into the air and you can change your momentum in a completely different direction, but at the cost of jumping into the air, so you're going to be very vulnerable as opposed to swimming one way, stopping, and then turning around and going like this. It's a good movement option, and obviously it's going to have good risk reward. And this weapon, yeah, it looks, yeah, it's the bow and arrow. We can see the 3 shots right here, and boom, boom, boom. All 3 of them hit. Yeah, they completely missed, but yeah, this squid just kind of keeps their momentum. Boom. Oh, and next is when you're swimming along a wall, it looks like you can do sort of like a jump type feature, and if you happen to be close to the ledge, you'll jump really high into the air, and it's gonna allow you to shoot. Oh, that's kind of weird. Yeah, this game's still in development. But yeah, you can jump into the air and you can counterattack very easily. Unless they're expecting you, well then you're gonna have a lot of hang time and you'll probably get splatted very easily. Boom. Killed. Oh. There's actually a lot going on in this one little scene. This guy appears to have some sort of Inkzooka, but it's not an Inkzooka. Okay, it looks like a combination between Tentamissiles and the Inkzooka, which is pretty interesting. I think it's gonna have 3 shots. Okay, and next is these. They look like kind of like stingrays from Splatoon 2, but I can't really tell. It's hard to say, but it's worth noting that it seems like they go across the full stage. If you see this shot. Here they go, they start forming, and there's also these 2, like, not quite sure what they are. They look like echo waves. Might be another form of the killer whale or stingray as well. So yeah, these look like special weapons. A bunch of special weapons just kind of going off, but they don't really show them off except for this guy. Oh, this guy is the one we saw earlier. So it looks like a version. It looks like you can shoot 3 missiles. There's a splatter shot. Again, here's a E-liter. This kind of looks like it'd be a victory screen type thing, but it could just be like promotional artwork just shown off for this trailer. Yeah, there's the blaster, there's the splatter shot. Hydra Splatling, that's what it's called. Okay, this looks like it's probably going to be like a sub weapon. It kind of spawns, and it looks like it's probably going to shoot ink out of here. Oh, it's the shape of a crab. Just noticed that. So it looks like it's going to be kind of like a crab type monster, crab type sub weapon. It'll probably follow your enemies, or like a Sentra type thing. Here's the Inkzooka type thing that apparently shoots 3 missiles. There it goes. Boom. And next, if you actually pay attention, you can see back into the ink. It says 2022, which means this game is gonna launch in 2022. So, all right. So that was really cool. I'm really glad that they showed this trailer off. That's pretty much what we've seen. This is a new little piece of promotional footage. It looks like this Inkling is chasing the small fry. That doesn't really give us any new information. Splatsville is located in a border region called the Splatlands. It seems the intense sun and harsh environments have had a profound effect on its inhabitants. In recent years, trend-setting Inklings have been drawn to this culture like moths to a Bunsen burner. So here, this is either the photo mode or just like special developmental cameras. And I think this is probably going to be a big centerpiece for the game, the upside down Eiffel Tower. Here we can get a pretty good look at the new splatter shot. It looks good. Oh, their ink tanks are very different as well, actually. Can we see the other ones as well? Yeah, the ink tanks are very different. In the Splatlands, Inklings seem devoted to the popular pastime of turf war. The basic rules appear unchanged. 2 teams of 4 compete to ink the most ground. However, the denizens of Splatsville appear to have taken their battles into the surrounding wilds of nature. So, what this tells me is pretty much that they're going to have a big focus on nature in this game. Not a big focus, but I'm guessing it'll be pretty influential. Before, each Splatoon map was pretty much kind of locked in like a specific area, but I guess the hazards will be more nature related. Here we can get a good look at the Inkzooka type thing. Alright, some sort of mid-air spawner drone. Yeah, which is what we saw earlier. Here they pretty much confirm it appears they can even choose their landing spot before flying into action. So here's a cool little shot. I wonder if it's going to show this cinematic every time. Probably not. I don't think. But yeah, this is a really cool shot. Pretty sick. Alright, here they talk about the new movement mechanics. A squid roll allows them to leap and twirl out of their ink, and a squid surge allows them to quickly swim up ink-covered walls and jump out at the top. So it's going to be a momentum shift type mechanic. While you're swimming in your own ink, you can quickly shift your momentum. Here's the squid surge. So pretty much how I said, they can swim up ink-covered walls and jump out at the top and surprise your opponent with a surprise counterattack. Here they talk about the bow. So pretty much how we said, it launches 3 ink strikes simultaneously. And we saw a little bit of that action in the trailer. Alright, here we see brand new special weapons. This one, I can't really tell what it does. Oh, it's part of that one that we saw, the purple one that I thought it looked kind of like a stingray / killer whale. And apparently this is also a special weapon. To me, it looked more like a sub weapon, but maybe the size is actually bigger, or it's hard to kill, or we can't really tell yet, but it looks interesting. Here we have a better look at the 96 gal. Again, I said you can tell that it's the 96 gal because it's kind of like the water jug type thing, but yeah, it has this little metal tip at the end now. The 96 gal, actually, I don't think it received a makeover for Splatoon 2. I think in Splatoon 1 it pretty much stayed the same. And here we have the new blaster, I believe. Okay, this is for sure how the old blaster looks. I'm kind of confused because they have both in the same picture. It makes me wonder if maybe they'll have an option you can switch between like classic look or new look, or they just kind of put this model in just to demonstrate like how different it looks from the regular blaster, is what it's called. This again looks like the gold dynamo roller. But yeah, again, we can see a bit more of that new special weapon. We're not quite sure how it works, but yeah. Here's the sloshing machine. I believe it pretty much looks the same, but you can see a little bit more of the Inkling's gear. It looks pretty sick to me. It looks very detailed, actually. Look at the shoes. It's like very like kind of dirty, but also has like paintings on it. And the jerseys are very cool. Anyway, that's pretty much all they have to say about Splatoon 3. So for now, we're just gonna kind of have to wait for a bit to see a little bit more action. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this game. I hope a lot of people are excited for this game. It's kind of interesting that it's on the same console that Splatoon 2 was on. I'm really curious to see how this one's gonna sell, because Splatoon 2 is in the top 10 best sellers on the Switch, I think. And I want to know if people are going to be like, well, why would I need Splatoon 3 if I already have Splatoon 2? But there's also like the Call of Duty games that they sell extremely well, even though there are multiple iterations per console. So yeah, I'm really glad that you watched this with me. We kind of went through it, like kind of analyzed a little bit, just kind of gave first impression. Well, not really first impressions. We kind of gave like second impression type thing. Yeah, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know, tell me how hyped you were for Splatoon 3 when you first saw it. I was staying at my grandma's house for, you know, like the whole Texas situation. So in my brain, I was like I was screaming out loud, but I had to be quiet because they were watching TV. So yeah, I couldn't like release my hype. But now that I'm at my house, I can release my hype. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Dog bless ya. Y'all have a good one.